Hello, welcome to Asia Tech Singapore. It is my pleasure today to talk to you about Cloud Native 2.0. Cloud Native has been a concept in the market for a while. It is an approach to build the modern application leveraging the Cloud Native service as if the application is born in the cloud. So today I'm excited to bring you some updates of Huawei Cloud's new Cloud Native technology and the products. Before I dive into the details, let's take a look at the micro trend. I think we can all feel that we live in the age where digitalization is the main theme, especially after the pandemic struck us. Cloud Native is becoming the foundation for digitalization because it offers revolutionary efficiency, speed, and cost effectiveness for building modern software applications. Like The Economist says, without containers, there will be no globalization. IDC has predicted that 80% of the application will be cloud native by 2023, which is only 2 years from now. What we see in the market is that we are moving towards a cloud native 2.0 era. In the 1.0 era, cloud native is largely adopted by the pan-internet companies, those startups in the last 10 years. They have demonstrated how competitive their software product can be using a cloud-native approach. Now that we're moving into a 2.0 era, where enterprise across different industries like finance, logistics, manufacturing are also starting to adopt cloud-native approach. They want to gain that power that these startups had. So over here in Huawei Cloud, we have published a cloud-native framework to give an overview on how we have built our cloud-native products and infrastructure to serve our customers. At the core of it is our Qingtian architecture, using which we have built our own cloud operating system. On top of it, we have built and adopted the mainstream open source projects such as Kubernetes and Istio. In addition to that, we have built incremental projects in the Kubernetes ecosystem, like KubeEdge and Volcano. Now, KubeEdge is designed for cloud-native edge computing, and Volcano is designed for cloud-native massive-scale batch processing. We have open sourced them and contribute them back to the CNCF community. Riding on these fundamental cloud-native building blocks, we have built easy-to-use cloud-native service for developers to use to build their cloud-native applications. Next, I will pick 3 of the new products to talk about: our new container engine, CCE Turbo, multi-cloud container platform, MCP, and the cloud-native database, the GaussDB. The first is the container cluster, CCE Turbo, which is the major upgrade in our cloud-native infrastructure. The container technology is at the core of cloud-native infrastructure. Since 2016, we have successfully launched a series of container products, including the Intelligent Edge Fabric platform, Application Service Mesh, Cloud Container Engine, and the bare metal container service in the industry. This series of efforts by Huawei Cloud has also been recognized by the market. We achieved continuous #1 market share in China's container software market and continuously get full marks in the container capability evaluation by the Forrester. Now with CCE Turbo, it provides the more powerful and upgrade and acceleration across computing, networking, and scheduling. It helps developers to innovate quickly in big data, AI, HPC, and other business scenarios, and better respond to enterprise business requirements for high performance, low latency, and efficient resource utilization. In terms of computing acceleration, in order to solve the problem of low utilization for cluster resource and insufficient server performance, Huawei Cloud launched the unique container offload technology last year based on the software and hardware synergy of Qingtian architecture. This year, the container offload technology was applied to CCE Turbo, allowing 100% of cluster resources to be used for business processing, and the customer resources cost can be saved by 30%. At the same time, we have further optimized the container engine itself. Firstly, we downsized the container engine, eliminate redundant components, and optimize the internal execution logic. Secondly, we use the Rust language to rewrite some of the core modules of the container engine to improve the execution efficiency. And finally, the core components are optimized to achieve better business isolation and reduce interference between multiple processes during the concurrent operation. After the above optimization, the overall performance of the container cluster has increased by 40%. In terms of the network acceleration, the network connection speed and forwarding efficiency have always been challenges faced by the business when dealing with large amount of traffic. Huawei Cloud has created the Cloud Native 2.0, which is based on trunk port technology to accelerate the network. Firstly, we combine the container network and the VM network into one layer, which is the Cloud Native network. This allows the container and the VM to be all directly connected to the VPC, reducing overhead, and the end-to-end time from network creation to connection is reduced by half. In case of the large-scale concurrent operations, the network performance is faster than usual, and the latency can be reduced by up to 40%. At the same time, the Cloud Native Network 2.0 is one of the first in the industry to implement the container-independent technology of security group rules and QoS. Compared with traditional security group configuration, which is on the cluster node, this time the security group can be applied on individual containers. Now, this not only improves the efficiency of the container network, but also give you the control and more secure and granular control for security. With this technology, it gives developer the ability to rapidly expanding 1,000 containers in 30 seconds, better deal with the traffic surges, and make application interaction smoother. After the enterprise start move to the cloud, the scale of the container cluster becomes larger and larger, and the workload becomes more and more complex. And how to improve the utilization of the cluster resources is a problem that plagues many enterprises. CCE Turbo achieves the scheduling acceleration through online and offline hybrid scheduling, large-scale distributed scheduling, and application-aware intelligent scheduling to maximize the cluster resource utilization. Firstly, the online and the offline hybrid scheduling. CCE Turbo can mix enterprise offline and online workloads in the same cluster for unified scheduling. When the amount of online business visits is low, CCE Turbo can use the idle resources to run offline workload, such as offline batch analysis, model training, etc. When the business peaks comes, it will automatically release the resources occupied by those offline workload to ensure the online business is supported with sufficient resources. Next is the large-scale distributed scheduling capability. Through the distributed scheduler, the throughput capacity is improved. Through the pruning of the scheduling algorithm, the addressing depth and the breadth are reduced. Combined with the scheduling decision multiplexing mechanism, the scheduling addressing time can be shortened by 10 times. To achieve the large-scale concurrency and extremely fast scheduling of 10,000 containers per second. And the last one is the application-aware intelligent scheduling. Through sensing the application models, such as whether it's a web application, a TensorFlow workload, or a Spark workload, we can estimate the resource demand model for different type of application. Resources can then be preempted and allocated accordingly. By sensing the application's microservice topology, each task can be then intelligently scheduled to the best node, keeping the network latency at optimal. This allows us to increase the cluster overall utilization by 2 times. I hope you like our new CCE Turbo. Now I'd like to switch to another hot product, the Multi-Cloud Container Management Platform, MCP. MCP gives you the capability to manage multiple cloud container clusters across different public clouds and even for on-premises IDCs to facilitate efficient collaboration in a hybrid and a dynamic enterprise IT environment. This service is designed for enterprise grade, so it can govern up to 100,000 service instances. It is fully compatible with Kubernetes APIs and ecosystem, and it requires zero redevelopment of your existing Kubernetes cluster to be able to integrate with it. Now, since the launch of the service, MCP has gained a lot of traction from the developer communities. We've actually decided to make it open source and donate to CNCF. Based on the core code of MCP, we jointly incubate the cloud-native multi-cloud container orchestration project with customers and partners in the financial, pan internet, and automotive industries. The project codename is called the Kamada. And today, you can find Kamada is released as open source. You can scan the QR code to find the source code. We also like to thank our partners who jointly released it with us. This has been greatly appreciated by CNCF as well. So now let's talk about the database. We know that the database is the cornerstone that carries the core transaction business and the key data processing for any enterprise. Entering the Cloud Native 2.0 era, enterprises' core transaction and data must be secured in the cloud. And an enterprise-level cloud-native database is required to allow enterprise customers to use the cloud with peace of mind. So first of all, what we can see is the cloud-native database must have high performance to carry core business and have the ability to elastically expand quickly. Secondly, it needs to be highly available and secure to ensure that the core business is always online and stable. And finally, the cloud-native database should also introduce AI capabilities into the database management to take the database management to the next level. Based on this requirement, Huawei has continuously invested in a strategic product called the GaussDB database for more than 10 years. GaussDB is a database built by us based on our understanding of the key application and the data requirement of enterprise customers for high performance, high reliability, and high security, combined with the cloud-native AI technology. The product series covers both the relational and the non-relational scenarios. The new variant that we are launching is called the GaussDB for OpenGauss. The flagship distributed database product designed for core workloads for financial sector. Now, first of all, this flagship product has the ability to cope with the mixed workload of massive concurrent transaction processing and the complex queries. Through the cloud-native technology and the architecture innovation, the performance is significantly ahead of its competitors, and it has the ability to expand more than 1,000 nodes. Secondly, through the joint innovation with financial customers, it has proved that it is an excellent, high available database that is tested in actual combat. At the same time, we also introduced the unique database encryption technology to ensure the end-to-end encryption of data transmission, calculation, and the storage. And by implementing the AI technology to the architecture and the algorithms of the database kernel, the database management is made smarter and more efficient. Now let's look at some details of how it performs. Firstly, GaussDB adopts NUMA-aware technology and the distributed GTM Lite technology to greatly reduce the memory access latency across multiple cores in a single node of CPU. As a result, the performance has been improved by 45%. Secondly, in the complex query performance, it leveraged the native distributed optimizer. And as you can see, the GaussDB has outperformed the competitor by far in the TPC-H benchmark testing for a bank. And lastly, GaussDB has the ability to scale online elastically and supports over 1,000 super large distributed clusters and can easily cope with the test of high concurrency, data processing, and complex query scenarios. In terms of the high availability that the government and enterprise customers are mostly concerned about, GaussDB provides a variety of high availability options, including HA within single AZ, across multiple AZs, and cross-region disaster recovery solutions that meet financial industry's regulatory requirement. GaussDB use its unique switch turbo technologies and ensure that the failure within the same city AZ can be quickly switched with an RPO of 0 and RTO of less than 10 seconds. For data protection, GaussDB leverages the Huawei's full-link data encryption technology to ensure the security and the credibility of data on the cloud for the entire lifecycle. Now, the traditional database can only achieve encryption for data transmission and data storage. But Huawei's GaussDB can achieve the full data encryption through the lifecycle and realize the operation state encryption of data in memory, therefore achieving the complete security protection during the entire lifecycle of data. In 2019, Huawei released the GaussDB AI native technology for the first time. In the past 2 years, Huawei has continued to integrate AI technology into database core algorithms, and the data structure to achieve the automatic database optimization and the tuning functions. Let me introduce some recent technology developments. Let's first look at the parameter self-tuning. Through the deep learning and the reinforcement learning and the global tuning algorithms combined with different business models for target tuning, currently we cover more than 500 key parameters to be self-tuned. Compared with the DBA manual tuning process, the self-tuning performance can be improved by 30% using the self-tuning technology, while the time spent is reduced from days to minutes. Secondly, let's look at the smart index recommendation. Through the heuristic recommendation algorithm, smart index recommendation is realized, which improves the index efficiency from hour level to second level. And the measure performance in the benchmark testing is improved by 40%. Last but not the least, GaussDB has introduced AI technology in the fields of distributed column recommendation. Through that, the query performance can be greatly increased. In the past 2 years, the GaussDB has been opened to 70% 70 universities and 200 ISVs for the joint development, attracted over 100,000 developers. We will continue to inject the most advanced technologies into GaussDB, and we hope that more and more developers will learn and use Huawei's GaussDB. Huawei Cloud persists in technology innovation to benefit thousands of industries and support the developers. This year, we will continue to release a series of new products from cloud-native infrastructure, AI and machine learning, data analytics, application enablement, audio and video, and many other fields to provide the developers with better platforms and tools. Huawei Cloud also hopes to work with other developers around the world to become the preferred partner for enterprise on the road to digitalization. This concludes my talk, and thank you for watching.